We're live.
Hooray.
Yay.
It's been another week, boys.
We did it. Time passed.
Yeah,
Who
Good
saw
job, everybody.
Sonic?
I did.
Nope.
I did.
Probably not going to see
well,
before I leave.
I know you already talked about some Sonic. Do you want to talk any more about Sonic?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
No spoilers, obviously, because John hasn't seen it.
It's kind of hard to spoil, but yeah, we won't get into specifics.
I can mute myself if it's really that bad.
No, we just won't get into spoilers.
I mean, you're aware Sonic wins, right? Because he's the hero.
Fucking spoilers!
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
That is a kids movie.
Yeah.
For little kids.
I loved it.
You loved it. All right.
Yeah, love is a strong word. I had fun, and then kind of forgot about it. And then Nathan saw it and was like, "Do you want to talk about it?" I said, "Sure." So I remembered everything, and then forgot about it, and now we're talking about it, and I remember it. That's the story.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nothing like impressive. It is just like really, it is a kids movie.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like there's no reason to even like be angry at it or anything, because it's like I'm sure kids will like this. Like, it's not even for me. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I would have liked it as a kid, like a lot. That would have been a good time.
Probably, yeah, sure. Not to say that kids deserve bad movies.
I don't think it's bad though, even.
No, I don't think it's bad either. I don't think it's great. Like, I don't think I'll ever watch it again.
Oh, I want to see. So this is what I want. I want a Blu-ray copy of it with the cut out Sonic. I want to see that like monstrosity
with the first Sonic.
Yeah.
They're never gonna do it.
That's not gonna be a real thing. That would be very cool though. That would be very cool of them to make that a bonus feature.
I think the people making this movie definitely had their pulse on, like, they cared about this material enough that, like, I think they did it justice. It's a silly kid Sonic thing, like, and it hit all the points it needs to. Sonic goes fast in multiple different ways. He hits
Sonic
stuff.
Does go fast.
Yeah. He's sad all the time.
One of my issues with how Sonic goes fast, and this is something that similarly happened in the Flash TV show that we were talking about, the DC CW shows like last week, is Sonic can do that thing where he goes so fast that time basically stops for him, and then he can like mess up your face and like put a bucket of water over your head or a banana peel under your foot, basically for like far too long, because he can basically stop time from his perspective. So they did the same thing in the Flash, and it's like, if he can do this, how is he ever like, what could hurt him? How is he ever in harm's way?
See, I don't agree. They make good on that by the fact that Robotnik was able to harness some of that power, and then it's like, oh shit, he made time stop and he's still being fucked over.
Right, but like up to that point,
sure,
you could just do that every single time.
Yeah, I mean, he's Sonic.
So, but that's the thing is, and so I'm like picking apart a kids movie. So it's like, what are you even doing? I have so many better things to do with my time than pick apart a kids movie. I will say, Jim Carrey's fantastic.
Yeah, he's having a great time.
He's having fun.
Yeah.
That dance scene is super good.
Like where he flosses twice. Yeah, that's amazing. You're right.
Well, Sonic flosses twice.
Yeah.
Eggman does, right?
No. Okay. So, I was trying to think, when was the last time Jim Carrey took a role where he was just obviously having a goofy fun time? Because it's been a while. He's been pretty down a dark path.
Like, what was the last time I saw him in something? And it's Kick-Ass 2.
He wasn't having fun in that though. His character
was.
No, his character was pretty brutal, and he said right after that he hated that role because that's not him.
Oh, did he? Okay, because I remember his character's like pretty silly, so I would have assumed he's having a good time with it.
I couldn't think. I couldn't think of the last time I saw him just being like kind of goofy in a fun way. It's been a long time because apparently he has maybe that was a while ago now, right?
The number 23.
Yeah, the silliest Jim Carrey movie.
That's the thing is he hasn't done a role in quite a while, right?
Yeah,
he's been doing TV lately.
Yeah, And apparently that's quite dark, that show. So I haven't seen it though.
I don't know anything about his show.
Yeah. I don't know. As Didinsky says, Sonic versus Dora. This ain't no Dora the Explorer, I'll tell you that. Because that movie was, like, legitimately surprising of how good it was. I was not expecting.
Did you watch that recent Dora the Explorer movie?
Oh, yeah. It's, like, actually good.
Okay, I'll have to take your word for it. I definitely did not watch The Lost City. Is that what it's called? The Lost
Something
Kingdom?
like that, so. Yeah. Because they play with the fact that, like, Dora was a kid in, like, that cartoon and stuff. And then, like, she has to be, like, a real, like, teenager in this movie. And everybody else is like, what the fuck is this crazy girl talking about? And it's, like, pretty good.
Right. I saw it on Valentine's Day.
Yep.
So there were, like, I'm curious, you did as well, right? So I'm curious, what was your, like, theater going experience? Who was there on Valentine's Day to watch Sonic?
Beside us was a dude who was all by himself, which was a little bit sad.
I mean, that was me.
It was families, like a bunch of families, and
like
a couple
with kids.
Yeah, a few kids like in the front row and stuff. A few like preteens and teens. Like it was a mixture of people. I will say.
Did you see any actual like couples?
I mean, I was part of one, so yes, but yeah, I saw a few others, not many.
Okay,
but
I don't think, because someone asked me that, like, did couples go there as kind of their Valentine's thing? And I don't think any couples were in my theater. Not that I was like super looking around, but there was a few families with little kids.
Sure.
Little kids that, like, when they first show Earth and Sonic is like running past the speed trap. And he's just like a blur, right? Because he's so fast. The kids were literally like, oh, that's Sonic. Even though, like, it's 15 minutes into the movie. It's like, of course that's Sonic. Are you kidding me? Yeah. But multiple kids were like, that's Sonic. That's Sonic.
Yeah. It's an exciting time. Yeah.
There was a bunch of groups of, like, teenagers together, like a bunch of their, like, you know, let's go as a group, some teenagers.
Yep.
There was one guy, this kind of like middle-aged dude. He fucking loved this movie. He thought this was the funniest shit. He also had his phone out for the majority of the movie.
Oh, I saw your tweet about this.
On his phone, he was looking at Sonic the Hedgehog GIFs.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah,
which I could not believe, because he had his phone up for a while, and I was like, seriously, what? And I was trying to look at, like, what is he doing on his phone? Because it looked like I had like Google image search up, something like that. Like I could see like the grid of like weird different shaped rectangles.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh, those are all Sonic GIFs of like, just like, you know, 8-bit Sonic running.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, shit like that.
He's got to go fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy, he really enjoyed the movie quite a bit.
Yeah, good for him. I'm glad. That was a fun movie. Honestly, I was actually surprised that most of the writing, when it wasn't really trying to be funny, was actually pretty, like, good and pretty funny. So, like, there was obviously the kids' jokes, but there were a few times I got a legitimate laugh out of, like, okay, that's pretty good or whatever. I don't know how much Olive Garden paid them, but, like, man... They pimp
Olive
some
Garden's definitely in there,
pimp some Olive Garden, and also apparently Reebok is now the official Sonic shoe. So if you ever wondered what brand Sonic wears, it's Reebok, apparently.
It used to be soap.
It used to be, not no more. They don't got the money anymore.
I don't know. I don't think they exist anymore.
Yeah, fair. Maybe they were bought out by Reebok. I don't know. I thought that movie was totally fine. I really enjoyed it. I don't think I need to see it again, though. Like, it's definitely done.
Actually, that reminds me, because I was going to ask this a minute ago with your whole Blu-ray idea. Do you think anywhere in, like, the bonus features they mention or show the other Sonic in, like a
cutscene?
No,
talking about the history, behind the scenes. Do you think they mention that at all?
Totally. Yep. I think they're very much in tune with, like, the Sonic fan base or whatever. And I think they had to be after what happened.
How do you think they word that, though? Do you be like, so this was our original idea.
Yeah.
This came out around, 2019, kind of mid 2019.
Yep.
And then people bullied us, so much that we changed it to its current form, which, as you know, is this Sonic.
Yeah.
How do you think they addressed that?
I don't know, but Nathan and I were talking about this, and like at first I was kind of annoyed at this precedent set that like the internet will just yell at you and you'll change it. But then I was like realizing they need to get the Sonic audience in theaters. That is the audience they need to make sure goes to see this movie, because random people aren't going to go see the Sonic movie. So I kind of understand where they were coming from of just being like, okay, we get it. We're going to fix it. Don't worry.
I think I'm of the other mind. I think like the question is like, how different would the box office be if it was the original Sonic design, right? That's the question we're currently talking about. So like, I feel like you already know if you're going to a Sonic movie. Like, it doesn't matter what Sonic looks like, you're going to go see it. Like, you're just that person, right? Like, if you're into video games, you're probably going to see it because you just kind of have to see what the weird video game movie is. If you're a kid, it probably doesn't matter what Sonic looks like. Like, it probably really doesn't matter.
For marketing officials, it probably does. But yeah, if you're a kid, probably not. That's true.
So who's actually like putting their foot down, being like, I'm not going to go unless he looks at least 90% like my Sonic, and then holds up his phone that only has Sonic GIFs on it.
I mean, the guy that you literally were talking about was in your theater.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I doubt the box office wouldn't have been different, because I know like we would have all seen it, right? Doesn't matter what Sonic looked like.
Yeah, probably. I don't see why like that would have changed my opinion to see it. So yeah,
I'm thinking like I bet it would have been pretty similar. That's my guess, but we'll never know.
We'll never know.
Weird mirror dimension.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a
John, are you excited after hearing what people have talked about it?
I've heard good things, so I'm probably gonna watch it at some point, but it's not gonna be for a while because I leave on Monday. So
right. Do you like kids movies? Because that's kind of a prerequisite.
That's a loaded question.
If they're fun enough.
I would say this is fun. It doesn't really dawdle. It's paced pretty good.
I mean, I would hope. It'd be really sad if the Sonic movie was slow paced.
Yeah.
So that's
like, true.
there's kids movies, but then there's like everyone movies, and that's what I feel like Pixar kind of lands. I don't think this is an everyone movie personally. I think this is a kids movie. That's how I came out of it with it. Like you seem to have enjoyed it more than I did, so that's why I'm kind of leaning towards the like. I think mostly kids are going to be into this. I don't really think there's a lot in there for adults.
It's easily like a 7 for me, probably out of 10. Like pretty above mediocre, but not great.
Sure. But that was Sonic. I don't have a good segue into the show, so let's just do the show.
Well done.
February 20th, Top Down Perspective. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
The segue is literally we do a video game podcast and Sonic is a video game character, but whatever.
Paul, what have you been playing?
I checked out that Bleeding Edge beta. Do you know that Bleeding Edge game? They kind of showed a little bit of it. Was it at E3 or whatever? It's that new thing that Ninja Theory's working on that looks like a MOBA. Well, it's kind of like a MOBA, but it's kind of not. It's have either of you played Smite? The high-res game? No? Okay. It kind of plays a little bit like that, where it's like a behind-the-back third-person like hero shooter type thing, but like in a MOBA setting where you're in an arena and you're like taking objective points.
Wasn't that what Battleborn was?
Battleborn was it third person or first person or both? It might have been like you switch between them depending.
I don't actually know.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Most people, I did not play it, so it's gone.
See, I did play it. I'm pretty sure it was first person, but I don't remember either for sure. But it doesn't have like the creeps or anything like that. It's literally just a 4v4 fighting arena game where you take control points and whatnot. It plays a lot like Heroes of the Storm or like Overwatch, where it's kind of cartoony and arcadey, but it's super fun and easy to jump into. So I think it's really cool, and it's going to be one of those free with Game Pass games, so I'm totally stoked for that. Otherwise, like for $30 on Steam, I don't know that it's worth that price. but it's just another reason to enjoy Game
Well, I
Pass
think-
for me.
Doesn't Microsoft own the developer? Which I'm
Yeah,
blanking on
Ninja
the name
They
right
do
Theory.
now, yeah.
Yeah.
Ninja Theory, yeah. So definitely on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's confirmed. It's on Game Pass. It comes out in like a month or so, a month and a half or something like that. So I'm stoked for it. If you have Game Pass, I think it'd be a cool thing to just check out, like in some of your free time or whatever. If you don't, I don't think this is worth $30 personally. And yeah, just another reason to get Game Pass. I can't wait to try more so I can actually speak at length about it. But if you've always wanted to try MOBA, but you don't like the like RTS style and the top-down perspective of that, and you kind of want like a third-person action game,
Everyone drink.
everyone drink, then maybe check it out. It's pretty cool. Other than that, I forgot to talk about this last week, but I've been playing The Division like for 80 hours a week for the last month. I've just been trying to grind out the last exotics that I need before the expansion comes out.
That's a lot of Division, man.
Yeah, it's not too bad though. It's like an MMO. You just get sucked into like the grind of it while like watching videos or listening to podcasts or whatever. It's not too bad.
I do plan to play the
Warlords of New York.
The mission that like leads into it that just came out. It's
The two in Coney Island. Yeah. They're
it's
okay.
Like, it just recently went public, I think yesterday. So now
Yeah.
I'll have access to them.
Yeah, they're
And
fun.
then I might play Warlords of New York. I'm still deciding.
Sure. It comes out at a bad time. It comes out when
Yeah.
games come out. So,
Like early March though, right?
yeah, March 3rd.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not stoked about the timing for that. Really wish it had come out like a couple weeks ago with all this downtime and new stuff. But what can you do? That game's still fun. Just like, I want to give the public announcement that game is like $3 if you've been wanting to look into it. And it is fully compatible with GeForce now, which is how I've been playing it primarily, actually. So, yeah, might be worth looking into. That's all I've been playing, though.
What about you, John?
I've been playing through Yakuza 3 with Reese.
Okay. This is the last
Yeah.
one, and then you've played them all?
No,
Okay.
there's 7 of them.
Well, I don't remember if you started at like 5 or 6 or something.
Started at 0.
Okay.
Yep. So the Yakuza Remastered Collection came out recently. That's Yakuza 3, 4, and 5, all done up for the PS4. These are not completely redone like 0 or 1 and 2 were. They are just like up-res remastered versions of the same game. So they didn't re-record any dialogue, or they didn't add any extra scenes or anything like that. Although our version of 3 was missing a lot of features that this version adds back in.
Like what?
Okay.
Like there was a bunch of side quests with Cabaret and stuff like that you couldn't do.
Okay.
They just took out like a bunch of content, and now it's all back in this one. Yeah, that is Yakuza. That is just straight up Yakuza. Like it, I've described it with 0, 1, and 2 so far, and it's really not that much different. It's interesting because those 3, 0, 1, and 2 were all like the remastered versions, or they were new games, so they had already established the characters and knew how they wanted them to be. And now going back to 3, where they still kind of hadn't figured it out yet, or they were just getting to figuring it out, is a bit jarring. Like fights take longer to load in because of the way they had set up the game. The way the fights start is a bit less organic than it became in the remaster.
Right. It's just an older game at this point.
Yeah, but it's jarring since I like the versions of 1 and 2 I played were newer games.
Right.
Have you thought about
But-
what you're gonna do for 7?
Well, 7 is the RPG one where the Kiryu storyline ends, so that you can pretty much step into whenever you want.
Like, so you don't. There's no worry for you about like doing them in order or anything. That you'll just put that one wherever.
That one might be wherever simply because it doesn't it doesn't have the same characters in it. But I have to look into it. I'll wait and see what reviews say.
I'm sure it'll be as good as all the other ones. They seem to have a
Probably.
pretty high bar of quality for each one.
Yeah,
I can
but
play
it's
the
gonna be
zombie one.
It's gonna be really jarring since this is gonna be an RPG instead of a beat 'em up.
Yeah.
I have not played Dead Souls. No.
Does that one like actually fall? Is that a side story? Does it actually fall in?
It's a side story, but it uses the characters from like Yakuza like 3 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you play or have any interest after in playing Judgment?
I already have Judgment. I had actually meant to play it already since it, again,
Yeah.
is a side story, has different characters, just uses the same city, but just never happened. Because the only reason I've been really playing through these is because like it's been something to play with Reese and we both had a great time with it.
Oh, okay.
So it would feel weird to just be like, all right, on my own time, I'm going to play this game now. Bye.
Sure. Gotcha.
And if I was going to play a spin-off game that they did, I would do the Fist of the North Star one. So.
Yeah, makes sense. You did
Zero
start that at some point, right?
I did start that. I got a couple chapters in, but never got to keep playing it.
Yeah.
Zero comes to Game Pass at the end of the month, which
Yep.
By end of the month, I mean like 5 days from now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's the first time it's showing up on that system too. Because all the Yakuza games, until they got added to Steam, were exclusive to PlayStation systems.
Right.
With, I guess, the Wii U as a weird exception.
Which one came to Wii U?
1 and 2.
That is weird. That's just a weird fact.
Yeah, apparently it sold real bad, but apparently it was also a crummy port, so a couple people threw blame around on that one.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me they didn't give him like some armor that gives him electric powers for the Wii U version?
I know, shocking.
That
That
was all right, anything else?
That's
How's Zelda going?
Zelda, I'm at the end of the game, but I wanted to 100% it before I beat the game, and it ends up you actually can't do that, which is frustrating. So there's a bunch of side stuff you need to do, or you can do rather, and one of the things is you have to beat the game to get the final part of a quest.
Oh.
So yeah, so I just haven't sat down and done that. And right now I'm in the dungeon builder mode. That's what I'm stuck doing content for right now.
Yeah, I didn't play any of that because everyone was just basically saying like this part of the game sucks. And I also just didn't have much. I usually don't have much of an interest in like making my own stuff anyway.
The only reason, in my opinion, it sucks is because you can't share them with other people, because the only way to do it is with amiibos. If they had an online repository, a la like a Mario Maker type deal, people would be raving about it.
Yep, that's a certified stamp. Sucks.
Wow.
Okay.
But they got that like Nintendo app. Just use the app. I have this whole app on my smartphone. This thing's on the internet 24/7.
Yeah, how else are you gonna chat to people?
Not allowed.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. That's literally the last thing I have left to do. I found all the seashells. I found all the pieces of heart, and it ends up the last one I was missing is also tied into this mode. So I have to do all these
dungeon mode.
Yeah, I have to finish off a bunch of the pre-built ones before I can even get the last one. Apparently, they just straight up give you like an entire heart container for finishing it.
Okay.
But the real problem is that the pieces you get for new dungeon rooms are sold in the store for 1,300 rupees, which is a stupid amount. And you have to do that 7 times, which is twice as stupid. So
I mean, you should just move on to a new game.
I really should, but
there's no reason you should grind out.
It's going to bug me. It's going to bug me.
I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you.
Good. Yeah, that's all I've been playing.
All right. I haven't really played a lot of new stuff. I'm still going through Tokyo Mirage Sessions. That game's very enjoyable. Same with Children of Morta. The game is also very enjoyable.
There's an update as well, too, right? Recently.
To Morta?
Yep. They added a challenge mode or challenge dungeon or something.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm not done the main quest, so I haven't seen anything pop up in my game, but maybe I need to like beat the game to have that even show up.
Yeah, I'm trying to find what it is, but go on.
I would have preferred them to implement online co-op because they have local co-op, but I guess challenge dungeon was.
Let's see. Shrine of Challenge free update official trailer. There's a whole bunch of patch notes that okay, hard mode with increased enemies, damage and health, bigger XP. New enemies, Dark Blade and Mech Constructor, new UI with large HUD option, 18 new items, balance tweaks for normal mode and other fixes.
Is this on every platform or just PC?
Doesn't say. I know for sure it's PC because this is Steam I'm looking at. So I don't know if it's later. It's probably later for Switch and other stuff.
Oh, I'm playing on Xbox because it's
on
Game
Xbox,
Pass, but
sure.
Either way, yep, that game's still very fun. But some new stuff I could talk about though is I played some fun board games and card games, such as Forbidden Sky. And I've talked about the Forbidden series of board games before. These are basically Pandemic, but just a reskin, and a little easier and more friendly. So stuff like Forbidden Island was the first one, Forbidden Desert. This is another one, Forbidden Sky. So it's a co-op board game. Everyone's playing against the board. The setting is now you're on like an airship in the middle of a storm, and you're trying to take off in a rocket that you find. Much like a lot of co-op board games, it's extremely similar to the other ones, which is a bummer.
Sure. Yeah.
But I just keep buying them because I'm an idiot.
Fair enough.
Anyway, cool thing Forbidden Sky has is there's like a wind mechanic where you can get blown off the airship that you're on. So not only do you have like a health meter that only gets damaged when there's lightning strikes, but you have like a rope meter as well. There's only so many times you can like save yourself from falling off the edge with your rope.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. And the whole thing that you're trying to do this time is much like Forbidden Island and Desert. You're kind of building the map with the tiles as you go. There are wires on the bottom, and you have a blueprint that you need to create a circuit for the rocket to be able to get enough power to go off, which will include different sizes of capacitors and like lightning rods and stuff like that. And so all the wires connect. So you have to be careful because whenever there's a lightning strike, wherever there's a lightning rod, those tiles are going to get hit, and then the lightning is going to spread out through the wires on the ground. And if you're on one of those tiles, you'll take damage. What's very cool though is so there are wires on the tiles, which they just dictate where the lightning will go. But you also have to, when you are building the capacitors, you have to put a physical item, which is the capacitor, down on the board, and you have to put a physical wire, which is actually just kind of like a stick, down on the board as well, so that it actually evenly, and they say cleanly, attaches, because there's magnets and pieces of metal on these pieces, because you're actually building an actual series circuit, so that when the rocket goes off, there's a battery in there, and if the circuit is complete, it'll actually light up and make like a blast off noise. But that can only happen if each piece is actually connected properly or cleanly enough so that the electricity can make it all the way around the board and back to the rocket to finish the circuit. So that was just pretty cool to kind of have that in a board game and do that. We only played it once and we lost, actually. In fact, we lost because my character got blown off the side one too many times and I didn't have enough rope. So my character died, and if one character dies, the whole team dies. But we just finished the circuit because we wanted to see the rocket do its thing. And that was pretty fun. And then the other game I played on my game night on the weekend was the Scott Pilgrim deck building game.
Oh, okay.
Which I've had for a while, but just never unwrapped it and played it.
Sure.
This game it's pretty complicated as far as deck builders go. I don't know if I would really recommend it for anyone's like first deck builder. I don't even know if it's like particularly interesting of a deck builder. There's definitely better ones out there.
Okay.
But this one's kind of fun because you play as one of there's like 6 characters, so there's like Scott, Ramona, Knives, all his friends, Wallace. I forgot the other people's name.
Steven Stills, Kim Pine.
Yep, those two are in there as well. Yep, I think those are the 6. I don't think there's any others. You then have to pick an evil X to go up against, and all the evil X's are there. There's also an additional one because there's 8 because all the cards are double-sided, and I can't remember what the additional one is.
Is it they just separated the two?
No, the twins are one.
Is it Nega Scott?
No, I think it was a girl. I think I remember seeing another girl there that I didn't recognize because there's only one evil X girl, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it was like Envy or something. Maybe they just like threw her in there. I can't quite remember, but I don't think it was Envy. Anyway. So what you need to do is you need to collect like there's the whole usual thing of like cards are resource cards for you to buy other ones that give you like more resources and whatnot. But the end goal is to get enough points that will equal the number of points on the evil X card that you're currently playing against. You can defeat the evil X and that won't exactly win you the game. They'll usually have a certain number of like victory points, but not enough for you to have like the winning number of victory points. So you have to take on other challenges. The evil X counts as a challenge. Mm-hmm. But what's kind of cool is because it's based on a comic, the area where you're like buying the resources and what is called the plot line that you're constantly purchasing and refilling it up. So that's theoretically like the story you're building is, and then this happened, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and then I challenged these people. Like, I challenged the vegan cops or whatever, blah, 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 stuff like that. So that's kind of fun. I think it's more just like, hey, I really like Scott Pilgrim. Oh, hey, I remember this scene from the comics. Oh, I remember this one. I think you get a lot out of that, and that's kind of what bumps up the game in enjoyment for me personally.
Sure.
Like I said, I don't think it's a particularly great deck building game. And it can be kind of weirdly complicated for someone's like first deck building game. But if you like the source material, it's definitely up your alley. Also, it comes in a pretty like standard sized box, but it uses like a third of that to hold the cards. So that's just weird. It's like, why didn't you just make a smaller box so that it doesn't take up so much shelf space? What are you guys doing? Like, this is annoying.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
And it's not even like a scenario of like, oh, you can get expansions and like fill it up. One, I don't believe there are expansions, but two, that's not even how the packaging is set up. The packaging is just, here's a bunch of wasted space with like a hole in the middle that is the right size for the cards you own, plus another box in there just to like fill more space so the cards aren't flopping around. It is the packaging is just a complete waste of cardboard.
I looked it up. It is Envy.
Is it Envy? Okay.
Makes sense.
Which technically is not an evil X, but I think they just need
Scott's evil X.
Yeah, it's still an evil X.
Scott's evil X.
Yeah.
I guess, but I mean the evil X's were always Ramona's evil X.
Yeah.
And it was always the 7.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. I don't know. I mean, it's fine. Like, they needed an even number. All the cards are double-sided. The other kind of interesting thing, whenever you do a challenge, which basically means you're going to battle something, you flip over your resource cards because every single card is double-sided. And on the back of every resource card is a fight input, like a fighting game. And if you flip over your character card, there will be a list of combos you have that'll be like, if you play 2 up cards and then a B, you'll do this specific attack.
That's neat.
So that's kind of fun. And if you can't fill the combos, just every like combat card you do play will do 1 damage, but often like if you can do a combo that has only 2 inputs, it'll do like 3 damage instead of just 2 separate ones. So it is advantageous to get the combos in there. So that's just kind of a fun little like fighting game. Let's get some video game stuff in there and whatnot.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting game. I don't really know if I would like recommend picking it up, but I got it when it was like on an Amazon sale. So, I don't feel bad.
Sure.
But yeah, so I played that. That's it for me this week though. Okay. So let's move on to a bunch of this news.
Yeah.
Paul, please take some of this away.
Yeah. Okay. HQ Trivia, how they filed for bankruptcy, like I think a couple years ago Well, they're officially dead completely. They're closing down.
Right, I did see this. Did any of you, and I'm pretty sure the answer is no, watch that final HQ game?
No.
No.
Okay. Several people recorded it and put it on YouTube, and I cannot recommend it enough because
Okay.
the two hosts got fucking wasted drunk while they
Okay.
did the game show. They just have like this comically large bottle of champagne that they're just drinking the whole time. It is nuts. It's a long video. The videos that I was seeing, they're about 50 minutes long. The game itself only starts at like 15ish, 10, 15. So there's only about half an hour of content, but it is a worthy half an hour to watch.
Okay.
It is just, they're just like, I'm going to do a handstand. Hey, someone please hire me. It is absolutely ridiculous. They're just flipping off the camera and like, you guys lost. But what's really funny is, and again, they're doing this all super drunk. They just keep giving away gift drops, which I guess that was something they implemented after I stopped playing, where they would be like, hey, here's a free life. So if you fall, you can keep playing. You can keep going, one more time. They just kept gift dropping like 10 free lives. So like not a lot of people were out at the end of the game. So like 500 people won.
Oh,
and
God.
the prize was $5. So you just get to see this leaderboard at the end of all these names winning 1 cent.
That's pretty good.
Oh God. It is, definitely look up like Final HQ game on YouTube. It's pretty enjoyable. Yeah. There's my piece.
Okay, fair enough. That sounds great. Last week we talked about how Activision Blizzard pulled all their stuff from NVIDIA GeForce Now. Apparently there was a misunderstanding where Activision wanted to talk
I think the misunderstanding was, wait, our games are still on that? No.
Well, they were never supposed to be. Apparently what Blizzard wants is they wanted
at a fat check.
Yeah, honestly, they wanted like some partnership talks or whatever to go through, and GeForce is like, this is like kind of a free service where people just play the games they already purchased from you. Apparently they
GeForce was like, but please.
Yeah, apparently. So the basic idea is that Blizzard or Activision Blizzard said, let's have like a business meeting about this or whatever. And they took that as to be like, oh yeah, they're cool with it. And they put it up there, but they never officially gave the go ahead. And that's what the misunderstanding was, I guess.
Sure.
I pulled this more for you because I know you really like to talk about this stuff, but there's another color of Nintendo Switch, a coral pink.
I did see this. I like it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's a good color.
Yep, good color.
Could you who would buy gray? All these colors are so nice.
There's a lot of nice colors there. Yeah. I don't know.
The gray just seems so boring.
Yeah,
I still think
comparatively.
the yellow one looks the best.
The yellow
still
one?
think
Let me
what?
see.
Oh yeah, no, the yellow one's pretty good.
Yellow one's pretty
the
good.
yellow one looks real good.
I would probably buy the coral one if I was getting a Switch Lite, but I don't see any point in it.
That's the thing, is that I don't see a point in getting a Switch Lite, but these colors are nice. So there's that.
I think the point is so that when you pull it out of your bag, everyone's like, ooh.
Yeah, totally. Yep. Yeah. That's it for that. I thought this was interesting. So
This one is interesting, yeah.
The Witcher 3 got an update that allows it to have cross-save capabilities with the PC version. So if you have it on
Switch one.
Yeah. If you have it on PC and you played like pretty far in it and then you decided to buy it on the Switch, you can now take that file from the PC onto your Switch and vice versa.
That's awesome.
That's dope.
That's so
real
cool.
good. Yeah. Yeah. That's a great thing. That's huge. Also, I didn't pull it here because it's just like a one-line thing and you'll know what it is Cyberpunk 2077 has been confirmed to come to GeForce Now when that comes out.
Yeah, I did see that.
So,
which is great. That's awesome.
Basically, this whole section of the podcast is CD Projekt Red gets that gamers like have different things and want to provide their games in the best way possible for them.
Yep.
Hopefully not at the expense of the people working there, but we'll find out more when that game gets closer and people start talking out about their working conditions, I guess.
Right. Well, after that delay, I'm sure their working conditions are poor.
Yeah. I know. I'm not stoked about it, so yeah. This came out earlier this week. Diablo and Overwatch are getting shows, apparently.
Right. This was based off of like just like a LinkedIn leak. Like they just showed up on someone's LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know about the Diablo. This Overwatch one seems like a no-brainer. Like, how is that not already a Saturday morning cartoon?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Agreed.
that would really kind of work on that world a lot.
Yep.
Agreed.
It would probably be less horny, though, than some of the animations I've seen. Wink.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. People have been just talking about this. I've seen this linked a few times on Twitter now, so I just grabbed it. The Game Pass games coming to PC this month are Yakuza 0, Wasteland Remastered, Reigns, Game of Thrones Edition, 2 Point Hospital, and Indivisible, all of which are bangers for different reasons. So that's great. I don't know why I saw that linked so many times. I guess I just follow a lot of PC gaming-centric people. But, like, it was on my timeline every day, at least once.
People like free games. Quote-unquote free games.
Quote-unquote, yeah. Okay, let's get into the coronavirus section of the show. This is where we need a stinger.
Oh, my favorite. Here comes the theme song.
Yeah, this is where we need a stinger that's like somebody coughing or something.
Yeah, it's like coronavirus minute.
Yeah. Sony and PlayStation just at large, or PlayStation and Sony canceled their appearance at PAX East due to the coronavirus concerns. In the same
this is pretty last minute. That's soon, right, John?
Yeah, that is next week.
Yeah. And they had already come up being like, hey, you guys are going to get to play some Final Fantasy VII, some Last of Us Part 2. And now you're not.
Yeah. It's a bummer because, like, what I linked here, it's obviously been reported by other people, but what I linked here was literally their blog post just being like, get excited, we're going to be at PAX East, but at the very top is like, update, we're no longer going to be at PAX. It's just like, oh, man.
And I was seeing some people being like, there's one case in the Boston area, but they keep saying like, this is for our like employees' health. So like, who's going to get mad at them for this, right?
Totally.
Like,
yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Well, I'm just saying justifiably, like.
Oh, justifiably.
Yes. a good reason not to. I am curious though, because so our next stories is some people pulling out of GDC.
Yeah.
Which a little more relevant to mine because I was planning to go to GDC since it's local to me.
Sure.
But then again, also kind of question for you, John. Any concern at all about going to these major conventions right now?
When I see a major corporation like Sony back out, I get concerned.
So you would say you are now a little more concerned about coronavirus than
I am more
were.
concerned than I would have been had Sony not backed out.
Okay.
The logic I see them using is the fact that they're going to have to transport people from probably their Japanese headquarters and stuff like that. And a lot of different time in different airports might cause some issues. So I kind of get that.
Sure.
And
I mean, even just like taking like, the China, Asia, Japan kind of section out of it, it's just a lot of people who typically don't like to shower going to one space together. And I know you specifically get sick like almost every time.
Yeah. So I'm not looking forward to getting sick again.
With coronavirus.
Yeah.
Although
with coronavirus.
The coronavirus minute is going to blow up on this show.
Oh my God.
Oh God. In other news, PlayStation.
When I said the GDC stuff, it was the first time I actually thought like this is the first time like it could, like this is the first like convention I'll go to since it's been an issue, like a huge gathering of people.
Yeah.
First time I had to like really actually think about it.
I don't think there'll be a breakout there. They had one instance in Boston and they quarantined it fast enough, but
right. But now a whole bunch of people are heading to Boston.
Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah.
I guess just to, well, first of all, more news on this. They also pulled out of GDC along with Oculus and Facebook Gaming in general. is no longer going as well.
Yep.
I did read, this has nothing to do with video games, but this is the coronavirus minute. So I did read that, I think earlier this morning or like yesterday, there was a news article that they found like a protein strand that they're able to like basically cure this thing with a little more study. Like it's not going to be that big of a deal. So people need to calm down a little bit more. Also, people die more of the flu every year than this thing has killed at all. So just keep that in mind for now. For now, until it mutates and kills us all. Dangerous Driving 2 is coming.
Famous last words.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find this podcast in a decade when humanity is but a distant memory. And then they'll be like, see, we had no idea it was coming. Look, these guys were like, it's fine.
Who are you kidding? It already is a distant memory. Who are you kidding? Humanity's been dead for a while. I pulled this because I wanted to hear your take on it because I didn't play Dangerous Driving, but Dangerous Driving 2 is coming, and it's an open world game.
Are you asking for my take?
Yeah, because didn't you play Dangerous? Oh, then I'm just going to skip to the next thing.
One that did not come with a soundtrack, right? And they encouraged you to just load up Spotify.
Yeah. I thought you had played it, but like...
I haven't.
Okay. Then I kind of don't care about this news. I want to hear more about Dangerous Driving. Sony patents some leak or whatever come out for the PSVR 2, and they use the same finger tech that the Valve Index uses, or like something similar to it. So
that makes sense. I don't think it actually said PSVR 2, right? It was just
it doesn't. Patent. Yeah, it's a new patent.
So, take it with a grain of salt what this could actually be. But that makes sense. Like, you got to keep up. Finger tracking is where it's at.
Yep, for sure.
I'd be surprised if there's even cables on it, right? It's all about inside-out tracking.
Yeah, for sure. A couple of weeks back, we talked about how GTA 4 ran out of copies that you could buy on Steam digitally. Well, it's back with some changes to it. So it seems like we were talking about how there were problems with the Games for Windows Live thing, and then we're all like, yeah, but they ripped it out of some other stuff, so like, why can't they do it to this? Well, they could, but some radio stations are no longer going to be available. So I think it was more to do with renegotiating licenses and all that sort of stuff, probably. Also, there's no longer going to be leaderboards, no multiplayer at all, because there's no more Games for Windows Live, and apparently it was pretty tied. Their multiplayer and stuff was pretty tied into Games for Windows Live at that point in time.
And it's just not worth building it, because who's even playing this?
Totally.
Like, just go play GTA 5 and have a better time.
Totally. And like, if there's a community that wants it enough, they will get modders and hackers to make that stuff work anyway. So they don't need to officially do it.
Yeah, I'd assume the radio station stuff would be like, because it's like considered like a new release. So they would have to like relicense those things, maybe. That's my guess.
Yeah. This is the problem with pulling just the tweet. I had the actual article about it at some point. It actually said which stations it was. It was the rock and reggae one, I believe. I can't remember. Okay. It's been forever since I played GTA 4.
That means nothing to me at this point. It's 2020.
Yeah. This news came out today. Eli Roth, the creator of Hostel and Cabin Fever and a bunch of other weird horror movies from the early 2000s or early 2010s, I guess, is helming the Borderlands movie. So
why not?
That'll be interesting.
Honestly, I'm surprised we haven't heard about a Borderlands movie before this.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So like my initial reaction was like, oh good, Borderlands lore and the writing and the stuff that's not the game. Those are my favorite parts of Borderlands. I just love it so much. Obviously being sarcastic, those are the worst parts of Borderlands. But it's actually being written by the guy Craig Mazin, who won several Emmys for his work on Chernobyl. So maybe there actually will be some good writing. I mean, they got a good person doing some of the writing. But I feel like if you give it good writing, it's not Borderlands.
It's no longer Borderlands. Yeah, totally.
Wow.
Well, I just feel like you have to go for a very certain thing to make it Borderlands. And if you don't and make it more serious, Then you get Max Fury Road, which cool. I already got that on my shelf. I would be happy to watch that again. So I don't need this one.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens with it.
Yeah. This is probably never going to be a thing.
You don't think so? Yeah, no. I don't know. I have no idea.
An Uncharted movie can't even get off the ground.
But Sonic did.
And that game is basically a movie.
Yeah, true. This was just for me because I was stoked that this is a thing. There's a Tony Hawk Pro Skater documentary, and it's being premiered February 29th at the Mammoth Film Festival. Called what's it called? It's like Pretending I'm a Superman. The Tony Hawk video game story world premiere, February 29th. I'm stoked. I really wanted to see the making of that game back in the day and see some old footage of young Tony Hawk playing video games.
Sure. Tony Hawk's Twitter account is basically him just posting videos of people being like, "Hey, aren't you Tony Hawk?"
Yeah,
and which is pretty enjoyable.
Tony Hawk has been one of my favorite people to watch randomly on YouTube now. Because, yeah, he just goes around and people are like, has anybody told you look like Tony Hawk? And then he gives them a skateboard. It's like, okay.
I follow a subreddit that I cannot remember the name of, but it's all about like celebrities making a surprise appearance. Either at an event or just like around that just happened to be getting filmed. And he did this one where he drove around. I want to say it was like somewhere in LA, just driving up to like kids with skateboards and shouting, "Hey, do a kickflip."
Yeah.
And then if they did a kickflip, he would be like, "Cool, yeah." Gives them a skateboard.
Yeah. That's what Tony Hawk does now.
Like, hey, wait, aren't you Tony Hawk? And then sometimes they just be like, "Oh, thanks, man."
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's weird. It's weird content, but I like it. Okay.
All right. So I brought this next news story. Remedy had an investors call. They basically just talked about what they're currently working on, and just to kind of list those off. They have the Control DLCs. They're doing Crossfire X, the single player campaign, which we knew that was that Xbox. It showed up at the Xbox E3 presentation as this. I think wasn't it like a Chinese MMO or not? Sorry, not MMO, but like first
shooter MMO.
Yeah, shooter that they were like bringing over, and Remedy's doing the campaign for it. So now it's like, wait, this is like worth paying attention to. They're doing Vanguard, which I had not heard of Vanguard. Apparently, it's a multiplayer game. And then they have started pre-production on a third yet unannounced project. So they're doing a lot, which I'm very happy to see that Remedy is healthy and thriving, because I heard that Control did not sell very well.
Which is surprising because it got a lot of awards from what I saw.
Which breaks my heart.
It's so good. Yeah.
But yeah, still Remedy, man, those guys rock. All right, last bit of news. Did you guys watch the Animal Crossing Direct?
No.
Nope. Did not care.
Yep.
Wow. Oh man, I thought. Are you not an Animal Crossing fan, John?
No.
Okay.
I tried to watch. I legitimately tried to watch it, and I was a little tired, and I started falling asleep. So I was just like, you know what? I'll let Sean tell me about this because he's animated at least. I will listen to what he says.
I watched about 20 minutes of it. I did not wake up at 6 a.m. to watch it.
Sure.
Good.
It was basically just like, here's a video of some of the cool new features. They talked a lot about features they had already shown before. I'm definitely not the authority to say like what is new that they showed.
What looked fun to you?
You can pull out a ladder and climb up a cliff.
Cool.
Oh, so it's like Death Stranding. Okay.
I was going to say the same thing.
Looks like you can just jump across rivers if they're skinny enough.
So that's not cool. Like Death Stranding.
No,
gotta fall in the water first.
Yep. There's an otter suit and you fly around. I don't know. The ghosts, they talked about like seasonal events. You can pick which hemisphere you're in, which is kind of cool, and that would dictate kind of what season at what point of the year you'll look at. I don't know if they had that in previous ones or not. I don't remember.
I'm gonna say no.
Option. Yeah. I'm pretty excited. Tom Nook's there. He's an evil megalomaniac.
Yep.
The online, they spent a good chunk. Okay, let me put it this way. For online play, you shouldn't have to explain that much detail how online play works. And the fact that they had to spend a significant time explaining how their online play works makes me think it's going to be something dumb and stupid we have to jump through to get this working, like friend codes or some garbage like that.
Thanks, Nintendo.
Because that should literally just be like, hey, you can play with your friends up to this many people. And then, us as modern people who play games would just know, oh, I know how that works when it comes to video games. But the fact that they had to like walk through some stuff scares me because I still don't fully understand it because I bet it's.
You're gonna need to download Pocket Camp and sync it to your Nintendo app, and only then will you get the friends list from there. That's where the friends list lives, is in the Pocket Camp, not in the actual game. That's how you transfer friends to the actual game. Then they can visit your island and kind of see the ghost of what you did, but not actually play with you because Nintendo doesn't do.
This is sounding too real. This is sounding too real.
You're gonna have to draw a pentagram on the ground with you and your 5 friends.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have to bring their souls into the amiibo that's in the center of, and then you take the pentagram and put it on your Switch, and then your friend now lives in your Switch.
Yeah.
But only between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m.
Yeah. Tom Nook requires sacrifice.
Tom Nook does require a sacrifice. That has never been more true. Yeah. They talked about the Switch app on the phones.
Okay.
And I guess their big feature is you can use the Switch app to scan QR codes for custom designs you made in the 3DS version of the game or in Happy Home Designer so that you can bring those designs over to the Switch version.
I mean, that's good. A lot of people are actually pretty excited about that.
That's fine.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
They should do so much more with the Switch app. That is...
You're correct. You are correct.
Is that like all that they're doing?
Oh. That's what the Switch app for.
Oh, I thought that was the first point of a list that you were going to give me. Okay.
To be fair, I mean, there could be more that they're holding back.
There probably is.
There probably isn't.
Yeah, you're probably right, but I was being optimistic.
In a world where
Nintendo's taught me not to be optimistic.
Fair.
In a world where you can't share Mario Maker 2 levels easily with your friends.
Yeah.
I don't trust Nintendo to do anything with this. I'm starting to think now because like I'm getting my girlfriend excited for Animal Crossing. She's never played an Animal Crossing. She really likes Stardew Valley. So this is perfect because I'm not a huge Stardew Valley guy. I'm an Animal Crossing guy. So it's like, here we go.
Yeah, you're selling her soul for her to Tom Nook.
Yeah. I'm putting her inside the amiibo. And then I'm going to put the amiibo on the Switch so that we can finally be together forever. Because if I get my soul also in the Switch, then when our
they'll be together until the battery dies out on the system.
Decomposes, but it doesn't matter because we're going to be alive in the future. We're going to be the Matrix.
Yeah.
Delivering couches for our friendly cats. What are we talking about?
This is real dark.
That took a turn.
Yeah.
That took a turn.
Holy shit. All right.
Anyways, what I was saying is, though, because it's like, okay, I'm going to want her to have like her own island because like I got my own island. I'm customizing my own island.
No, yeah, that makes sense for sure.
So like, so she has an account on my Switch. Is she going to be able to have her own island? And then since we're both on the same Switch, are we going to be able to play together, or does it have to come from a different Switch? And you know what?
Switches.
Different
Whatever
switches.
The answer is, I lose. I just know it.
It's different Switches. Yeah, you will have your own different islands and different profiles, but you will need different Switches to play together. Probably.
No,
because that's how other games work.
They literally said there is one island per Switch, period.
Oh, per Switch? Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay, you need another Switch for both then. That's hilarious.
That's actually insane.
Good job, Nintendo. Great.
Yeah. So they would both be able to access the same island, so they could play together on the Switch on Sean's island. But if they wanted to go to different islands or have different islands, they have.
I want her to have her island, and I want to have my island, and then we can like visit each other's islands.
Nook wins.
That's true. Whoever loses, Nook wins. I don't. Thanks, Nintendo.
We're buying 2 copies of the game.
How like high def are these fucking islands that it takes one per system? Jesus Christ.
See, that's what I'm wondering about. Like, what are they doing with the game exactly that's forcing that? Like, are they just making it? Are they just using some part of the system that they can't somehow have two in the memory? Like,
It must be, right?
there's gotta be some
I feel like
reasonable,
has
like
to just
actually
be
reasonable
like
reason.
indifference, and they're just like sticking their nose in the air because like, why does their online suck? It's 2020, and it's a refusal to get with the times that is long since gotten past. Oh, this is cute. Is Nintendo with their cute online little friend codes? It's like it's not cute anymore. It's not cute anymore.
A couple people in the chat are mentioning it's probably to prevent cheating or duping items, or due to Animal Crossing's unusually strict anti-cheat rules.
Huh.
Heaven forbid I get ahead in the Animal Crossing leaderboards. That is maybe having 2 couches that are the same.
That'll
2 Apple TVs.
teach you. That'll teach you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because yeah,
I mean, you
so
can always-
that brings
you
up
can
the
always
other
get that-
topic is they were trying to figure out what the like online cloud saving feature is, because I guess a couple days ago something appeared that was saying like, oh, you can't do cloud saves. And I think Pokemon doesn't do cloud saves. Because go fuck yourself, I guess.
Yeah, like why? I'm
Might
paying
be
for
paying
Nintendo
$20 a
Online.
year.
Yeah.
Exactly, but like some of your flagship are Pokemon, the most profitable like property in the world. Not enough. Anyway, with Animal Crossing, I think what they determined is you can have a cloud save, but you only get to access it once.
Wait, what? What does that mean?
Literally like a last resort. Oh, something screwed up. Okay, here's your game back.
Okay.
I think it's like it's a temporary save idea, basically.
Okay, but then after that, is it still in there? So if it fucks up again, you still have that like to revert back to?
I think you have to do another backup at that point.
But you can do another backup. This is kind of okay, but like the fact that there's no cloud saving is ridiculous.
About this right now. This is where all the confusion is stemming from.
Wait, you can't do another backup? It's only if your Switch is like lost or stolen. You get one.
That's what the chat's saying is you get
Amazing.
one period. Everyone is saying no, one backup.
Why
am I
Switch user? Oh, it's because Switch user accounts are hard coded to not be able to access each other's save data, so you could not visit each other's islands if the island data was tied to your user accounts.
But like, why couldn't it create another world in my system memory for the other user is like the question. Besides like, fuck you, which is obviously the reason. Right? I think that's why people are upset about it more than anything. I get not being able to play with somebody on the same Switch because sure, like you're using one profile, you get one world. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that it's like time is going by in the game or whatever. I don't know.
Maybe it has to do with that one time that I tripped Iwata when I walked past him and he's holding a grudge.
Oh no. Yeah. God rest his soul.
I don't know.
Maybe.
So
maybe
like,
if Sean wasn't the only one who watched the direct, there wouldn't be so many questions. Paul and I don't care about Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I was okay with not even talking about this because fuck Animal Crossing.
I'm excited for Animal Crossing. I will say though, like, I understand having to, don't cheat for Pokemon. There is a competitive scene there. What is that competitive scene with Animal Crossing? Who cares? Didn't they, in the GameCube version, you could input a code and get 30,000 bells as many times as you wanted, and I finally paid off my house. They were fine with it back then.
They want to make sure you never pay off your house this time.
Yeah.
Perpetual mortgage.
Yeah. Nook's like, hey, you can just make that house as big as you want. Just keep going.
You want to buy an island? I got some islands you can buy.
Yeah. If I pay Nook enough, can my girlfriend have her own island on her own save account?
Yeah, you have to literally play the game for a year to unlock that feature.
Chop my arm off.
Oh, there's a significant online economy for rare items. I see.
Cool. Gotta get those gold chairs. Anyway.
Is there gold
That's
chairs?
the news. I don't know, man.
Probably.
Who cares?
I mean, you. That's why I'm asking you.
I don't care about the rare economy in Animal
Oh,
Crossing. I just want to have a save backup in case something goes wrong.
yeah.
Too bad.
This is honestly a problem that I have with a lot of the Nintendo stuff, is that if there's a problem, it's like hell getting everything back the way it was if you buy something new. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever.
Some questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you want to send a question in, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. I'll read this first one. I haven't read any of these. Hopefully they're good. This one is not good. Okay. Rasterman says, so I recently found out that over 2 weeks ago was a non-official annual celebration called Puzzle Day on January 29th. As far as I know, people from different parts of the world gather to solve them in a public or private venue.
Okay.
Welcome to my private puzzle. Okay. And there are tournaments as well, which is pretty neat. So regarding the topic, have you ever solved a jigsaw puzzle or attempted to do so?
Yes. Both. I've attempted and solved a jigsaw puzzle.
I
No need to
literally
brag.
have one I was working on, but behind me. So
I used to actually do them frequently with my grandma when we were younger. We did like one a week. So yes, I've done many of them.
If so, how big was it, and how much time did it take before you finished it or gave up on it? I should also say I have done a jigsaw puzzle.
Okay. The only one I've ever given up on is I had one of those 3D puzzles, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. They're like
I used to love those as a kid.
The foam ones?
The foam ones, yeah.
Those were so good as a kid. I had the giant working grandfather clock one as a kid.
That sounds pretty cool.
It was 6 feet tall, and it worked. Like it had an actual clock hand on it. It was great.
Jesus Christ.
That's intense. And it was still foam?
Yeah.
The clock was foam?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't think I've done a 3D one. I don't know. I think the biggest one I've done is like 1,000 pieces.
Yeah, 1,000's pretty standard, I think.
Yeah. I got 2 here now, and one's like 780 pieces, and the other is 1,000.
What's the biggest one you've done? Most pieces?
Probably 1,500. But I think that might be a 3D one.
Paul?
Probably 1,000. I can't think of another number variation that would be higher.
Well, I've seen like 3,000, 4,000. Like
I've definitely not. I've never done a 3,000 or 4,000. I know that for sure.
He's also counting video game puzzles. Have you ever done one of those like video game puzzles?
Yeah.
I have not. Those don't seem
video game puzzles.
There's a
yeah, it's a digital puzzle.
Oh yeah, I do a whole lot of those, like free to play shit for sure.
I have a competitive multiplayer version of those.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, Atlas made it. It's called Pieces.
What? Okay, let me look this up.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's for the SNES.
Yeah, I'll have to look into this. That's awesome sounding.
Well, while he's looking that up, John, do you want to read this next one?
Sure. Next one comes to us from Linebeck, who says, after seeing a complete iCarly Fire Emblem GBA ROM hack, yes, really, I was wondering what is the strangest ROM hack or mod you've seen? One of my favorite ones is River City Ransom, but everyone is Wilford Brimley.
I don't have a good answer for this.
I'm not sure that I do either, frankly. I don't go far into the ROM hack world. Yeah, I don't really have an answer for this. VGC Kenny writes, if you were on a televised reality talent show, what gaming feat would you demonstrate on the show you think would impress the host enough to give you a good lasting impression? I can answer this right now. I don't have one because I don't take gaming that seriously.
I also just can't, like... what would even be a feat that like talk shows would even find interesting?
Oh no, is that just me?
Yeah. No, I got that too.
Okay, I think Sean's dying here. So I think he's asking, what would a talent show host even think is impressive for a video gaming feat? Honestly, I think even if you could speedrun a game, that would probably be enough. But like, I can't.
Speedrun a game, or like get a high score in Tetris or something.
Yeah, like at best, I'm mediocre at a bunch of games because I play them for fun. I don't get too crazy into feats, so I don't have one, and I would be fine being kicked off right away.
Maybe in like the past, like I don't know, playing like expert Guitar Hero, but I couldn't even play like the hardest stuff, so it wouldn't even be that impressive.
I see.
All right, I'll read the next one.
Okay.
Where are we? Sukusuku. Is Gerudo Fortress a town? I got into an argument with someone on its townness. They argue that because it has no beds, it's just a fort. I say, where did the Gerudos sleep otherwise?
Is it a town?
I thought there were like tents or some things you could see them like as their houses we couldn't go into.
I don't know. Like Gerudo's Fortress. Like which one are we talking about?
Probably Ocarina of Time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first one that came to mind, but like, doesn't it show up in other games?
Yeah. Now, to be fair, if you look at the Gerudo's Fortress from the outside, you can see that there's a bunch of rooms you don't go in.
Mm-hmm.
So likely that's what it is. It's a fortress.
But people would have slept in fortresses, right?
Yeah,
They would have had to be there.
As Homer says, forts also have beds.
Yeah, exactly. Like people would have had to be there around the clock in case of an attack.
Sure.
Like, that is, so like, what is a town at this? What do you need to make it a town then?
Multiple small forts called houses.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
it's a fortress. Like Hyrule Castle is a castle, but
right.
It has beds.
Well, I don't think beds make something a town. I'm going to say that.
So I don't think Hyrule Castle is a town either.
Right. So, but going back to the fortress, like, regardless of whether or not it has beds, I don't think that's the deciding factor. How about like if it has a grocery store? Is that a town?
That's a good point.
That's a start.
I think a town needs a grocery store. Am I wrong?
It needs services in it. Yeah, you're right.
So does Gerudo Valley have somewhere that even hints at people are buying food from here? Or do they have to go out and hunt and bring it back?
Probably that.
So yeah, it is probably that. I don't know.
Never really thought about this in this aspect.
Me neither.
So they have prisons though, right?
Yeah.
You get thrown in prison.
I mean, not normally, but yes.
Well, I'm saying in the game. You know, I searched Gerudo's Fortress and went to the image search, and I'm only seeing N64. So maybe it isn't called Gerudo's Fortress in the other games. I can't quite remember.
To be fair, in Breath of the Wild, it's straight up a town. So,
is it called Gerudo's Fortress, or what is it called?
I think it's called Gerudo Village.
Valley or something?
Gerudo Town. It's just sort of called a town.
Okay. So that one's obviously a town.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would not call Gerudo's Fortress a town.
It's a fortress, because I said so. Done.
Same.
No. Unanimously agree. 3 out of 3 top-down perspectives see it as a fortress.
All right, next question from Kenny as well. For those who are familiar, what is your ideal split between investigations and courtroom segments in Ace Attorney games?
I don't remember who it was, but I saw someone in the Discord say 100% investigations, 0% courtroom.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oof, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Honestly, The courtroom stuff is the stuff I think that you play that game for.
Yeah.
Like other stuff builds up to it.
I would say 25% investigation, 75% courtroom.
Yeah.
I kind of like a 50-50 split, but when I do think back on those games, all of like the highlight moments are always from the courtroom parts, because that's where you get like a lot of like the hidden backstory, you get the character development, you get the big reveals, you get the craziest moments.
Yep. And it's the culmination of the work you did in the investigation coming to fruition, so it just feels good too.
I will say, like, the courtroom is definitely harder when you're trying to piece the that's where like the puzzle game aspect comes in, of piecing the evidence to that stuff. So I can see how that would be a little more frustrating than just kind of going around and clicking on everything.
Yeah.
But if I still had to pick one over the other, I would pick the courtroom. But why do we have to fight? I just want like a 50-50.
I would prefer a little more courtroom. I think 60-40. 40% investigation, 60 courtroom is fine for me.
Okay.
I think sometimes the investigations drag a little too much. So that's probably why I go 75-25 for courtroom.
Yep. Dedinsky says, is there a game released this generation simply wouldn't work if it was designed for the PS3/360?
VR.
Yeah, probably.
VR games.
Because of the power.
Mm-hmm.
Because of needing VR.
True.
It's hard. Is this like a tech question at this point of like, well, there's too many characters on screen. The 360
because there's really not. Yeah.
Like from a gameplay wise, anything could kind of work, right?
Yeah.
Like this made me think of like, it made me think of two things. It first made me think of like, is like the cloud assistance that the Xbox One like gave to Crackdown 3 that wasn't around for the 360. But like, I don't know what Crackdown 3 looks like without that stuff, so I don't even know what I'm like really missing.
Sure.
I was gonna say, if you're thinking something like Fortnite, something like an online just multiplayer game with a ton of people, that existed in the PS3 era because that's what MAG was. That was 256 people in one game.
Right, and Fortnite doesn't even have 256 people in one game, so
yeah.
So MAG deserves some props.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only props that game ever got.
Yeah, but again, like gameplay wise, like nothing, right? Just like
right.
I can't
like there's definitely games that you couldn't just port to those old systems as they are, but you could design them to work on those systems.
Right, they would just like probably look worse. That's like the big thing. Like I also think of like Forza and how they kept putting or trying to say like drivatars. They kept trying to make drivatars a thing, and it's like we finally did it with Forza Horizon 4. These are your actual people driving around, and before we were just kind of like faking it. And it's like, yeah, but that was fine. Like I still had a great time with Forza Horizon 1. I wasn't sitting there being like, this isn't a real human.
Right.
Someone probably was though. That's the thing.
I mean, someone was probably saying everything.
Mm-hmm.
So.
All right, last question. Lucas writes in and says, what is everyone's earliest video game memory?
Playing Pong on one of those like dedicated Pong machines.
Playing Mario 1 with my dad at night, like sneaking out of bed and he was playing a level and watching and playing with him.
Speaking of Pong, Children of Morta has a Pong mini game that you have to play from time to time on those runs. It's like the only mini game in there. I am so tired of playing Pong. Like have like one more mini game.
Yeah, fair.
One other one. Earliest video game memory. I don't know, that's a hard one. I remember my dad bringing home like a computer and then having one of those like 100 arcade games in one disc thing. And on that was like Rayman 1 and Duke Nukem 3D.
Nice, some good stuff there.
That may have been like the first one. Or that Disney Hercules side-scrolling game. I played a lot of that. So may have been that. Probably that.
Cool.
All right. That's it for questions. If you have questions for next week, it is topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What's your game of the week?
Division 2.
Yakuza 3.
I guess I'll just give it to like Children of Morta. If we're talking video games.
Sure.
Are we not?
You can say anything for your game of the week. I don't care. I'm not a cop.
I had a really good dinner earlier,
that's
so
something a
that
cop
was
would
my
say.
favorite game of the week. Some good sloppy joes.
Nice.
Yeah.
I respect it, man. Honestly, I respect it.
Yeah.
All right. Tomorrow we'll be putting up our TDP Plus poll for people to vote on for what we are going to play through and discuss next month. So if you are a $10 backer, you have tonight to submit a game. So don't sleep on that. Otherwise, if you're listening to this after Friday, go vote if you're a backer on what we're going to play. John, you're going to be gone for a little bit, all right?
Yep, I'm not going to be here for next week's podcast. I'm going to be at PAX East. If you're going to PAX East, Friday night at 8:30 p.m., we are doing Throne Controllers. It's going to be an hour and a half long. It should be live streamed as well. Not 100% sure on that yet.
Is that this weekend or next weekend?
Next weekend. That is Friday the 27th.
Okay,
Sorry, the 28th. Friday the 28th.
All right.
And then Sunday, March 1st, we're doing Throne Controllers Live, which is our traveling show. We're going to be at the Hard Rock Cafe in Boston, and we're going to be having our usual concert, Q&A session, and Throne Controllers.
Guitar that will go up on the wall.
I mean, our guitarist might.
Nice. That's what I think of when I think of Hard Rock cafes, are like signed guitars in like frames.
Yep.
That's
All
it
right.
for me.
Okay, then we will see you guys next week. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.